Hey, it's Kassy. I'm back with another Sizzix Studio new release, and I'm super excited for this one. This is for Montano, and today we're going to be using this set, which is called Stitches. He's got 4 new sets. But I also have the other sets here, which I will show you. So here is the next set. It's called Weather Wonder. Very cool. Love these windows and the sky, and the crowns are very cool. Lots of really cool imagery there. This next set is called Build It. All right, this is Build It. Really, really awesome. Some good vintage kind of images in this building. Really cool stencils. Loving this pattern here. So there's that one. And then there's this one, which is called My Favorite Things. So love this one too. I love the hand, the eye, all those pieces, the fonts there, the typography is always really fun to play with. So these are all really great sets. These are the 4 new sets from Montano, and you can get them anywhere you buy Sizzix products. Just as an aside, if you're seeing this fairly close to when it's released, the video, in early November, I will be doing a Sizzix Studio Live where I'll be using this set to create some fun projects. So don't miss out on that. That's going to be super fun. Okay, so for today we're going to use this set, and it is called Stitches, if I remember correctly. Yes, Stitches. Okay, so just so you know, if you haven't used or purchased any Sizzix Studio sets before, there are many different sets out now. We have 3 licensed designers that have created sets now. We have Kat Kerr, Vic Hollins, and now Montano. And so there's lots of choices, lots of opportunities to pick something that really resonates with you and the imagery works with you, but they all are the same in the type of contents that they have. So just so you know, whichever set you buy, you will get 3 stencils, and I'll go over some of the features of those in a moment, and then you'll get a stamp set. Okay, so whichever one you pick, or if you pick multiples, and they all work really well together. So I do recommend getting multiples so you have even more opportunity to change things up and to mix and match. It works really great. But the really great thing about these stencils that I love is that if you're using your registration tool, which I have here, and let me just move some stuff out of the way because I just real quick want to show you this. So this is my registration tool. It's very messy and dirty because I'm a messy crafter and artist, and I have paint and stuff everywhere. It doesn't impact the quality of the machine, of the tool, just so you know. So this is mine, but yours will be lovely and new and pristine. But I also have my hinge adapter on mine because I'm often using it with a journal, and I just keep it on my desk all the time so I can just use it. But what I really want to show you right now, if I take this lid off, this is primarily for stamping, which is really spectacular for stamping. But right now I just want to show you how the stencil part, the stencil tool works. So if I had well, we're just going to be creating on this today, so I'm just going to show you. I really love reusing packaging and upcycling. So, and this is pretty thick. This is the packaging that comes in your Sizzix Studio kit or set, you know, with the stamps and stencils. So I'm going to show you a fun way to use this and actually make art out of it so it doesn't end up in the bin or in the recycle bin. Okay, so but notice how it's higher up. So I'm using my hinge adapter so that I can create on top of it and everything's a bit more level. Okay, so coming back to my stencil here, what I really want to show you is, let's say I might use this pattern here. Okay, so but there are holes, sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. There are holes on all 4 sides of the stencil, right? And it's the same. It's the same for all the stencils. If I put the stencil in the stencil holder or this way, you know, I can move this. I don't have the sticky grid set up yet, so we will in a second though. But you see, like, I can move this around, and then if I was using this here, it would work. But let's say I really want this, and I don't want to have to move my substrate around too much. So then I'm going to go this way because I want some marks over here on the edge, right? That looks pretty good. But then I also want some down here. So I'm going to move my actual stencil adapter, or stencil tool, excuse me. I'm going to move that around, and I'm going to keep this long ways so that this can stay in place and this piece can move around and do what I want it to do, right? So then I come up here. Oh, that doesn't quite work. So we'll have to adjust for that, but then I can come up here and maybe put some up here like that. Okay. So it's really handy because it gives you so many opportunities to choose different locations and different areas. I could also, instead of moving my art piece, I can just flip it over this way and move it like that. And now I've got some exposure over here, you see? So it's really easy to use, and that is why there are holes on all four sides, so that you are not limited to just using it this way. You can use it horizontal, vertical, upside down, whatever, okay? And all the stencils are like that. So I think that's a really great feature, and I just wanted to make sure to point it out for anyone that maybe didn't understand what the holes were for, and maybe didn't even notice them, okay? So if we quick look at the actual contents of this set. This is the first stencil, and we've got two really fun patterns there. This is the second stencil. We've got a strip of hearts, and then I really like these edge pieces. I don't know, that might be really nice on the edge too. I don't know. We'll see what happens. We'll make it as we go. And this is like a medallion, doily, mandala type thing. Really, really pretty, really beautiful repeating pattern. So those are the three stencils you get. And then the stamp set, of course, is here, but I'm holding it up, you know, with my hands so you can sort of see scale. Okay, so they are pretty large stamps, which is really nice. You can use them as focal points, as backgrounds, whatever you want. We're going to figure that out together here today. Like if I just take this bird, okay, let's see. I just want you to see how big they are. So here's the bird. It fits basically in the palm of my hand. That's a pretty good size bird. Here it goes this way. So just to give you some scale and help you see, you know, what size they really are. Sometimes it's hard to tell on camera. Okay, so that's what you get. You get a stamp set, you get 3 stencils in all of the Sizzix Studio sets. And they all come with this lovely piece of cardboard that has this little insert or inset area for the stamp set. So we're going to use it as a frame. We're going to make something fun and have a good time. All right. So I'm going to put this aside just for a moment because I'm going to start by gessoing my my board, okay? Because it is, excuse me, sorry, it is cardboard. So we want to make sure that whatever paint or ink or whatever we're going to put on top of this, that it will behave in the way that we expect. And I want it to be a bit more white. So I've got some Amsterdam white gesso here. So I'm just going to use that to cover the entire front, okay? Okay, so I've got my paintbrush and I'm just going to start covering it with white gesso. And because it's multi-layer level and layered surface, I'm using a paintbrush just so I can like squish in and get in the cracks and crevices here. But yeah, use whatever tool works best for you for covering your surface with gesso. You could use paintbrush or brayer, whatever. Your fingers. This first layer, it looks like I'm going to need 2 coats. So this first coat, I'm not being too careful about brush strokes or anything. And I also don't mind if there's a little bit of texture because I am going to be adding some physical texture with the stencils and some modeling paste too. So it's all good. This is just our first layer. Okay, it's almost dry, but it's getting there. I put 2 coats of white gesso on here, so it's just a little bit brighter, and it's a prime surface for whatever comes next. So next I have this piece of tissue paper. The reason I have this is because I think I want to, let me think, I'm thinking. I think I want to put this scissor, as like a strip of background. Yeah, I do. And so I'm going to get out my registration tool, and it's going to be, we're working on a flat surface because we're working on a on the tissue. So I don't need my hinge adapter. So to take it off, if you flip it over, there's two little prongs here. You just pinch those together and your hinge adapter pops right out. Okay, so now it's flat. So hold on, I got to get myself situated here. I need, so this is the sticky grid, right? And it's made to fit on this platform. And I keep my cover on it to keep dust off and to keep it good, you know, nice in between uses so that I can use it for a really long time. So this is just my protective cover, which we're going to take off so we can use it now. So now I've got a sticky surface to work on. Okay, and then I want to stamp onto this tissue paper. So let's see, I think I'm going to go this way so we can use the whole thing and just make sure it's laid down nice and flat. And the really nice thing about this sticky grid is that this is tissue paper, which is pretty delicate, right? But I can very easily peel it up. It's not going to tear or anything because the adhesive on the sticky grid is like it's temporary, but it's still firm enough to grip it, you know, so it works really, really well. All right, next thing I want to tell you, if you're going to use this for the stamping platform, you want to make sure that the smooth side of your lid is facing down for the stamp to grip onto. The other side of this, if you hear, it's got like an etched grid here, which is great for lining things up, but if you try to stick your stamp to the side, it won't stick. And I don't want you to think that you're doing anything wrong or that it's not working for you. So make sure that your smooth side is facing toward the platform. Okay, so now I've got these scissors, and what I really want to do is just go up in a row, and actually, yeah, it's going to go up in a row, but I'm going to alternate. So I am going to have to take it off every time and move the stamp, but that's okay. I'm using my grid here, or my platform, because I want to make sure I get a good coverage. Okay, so let's see. So for this process, I'm stamping onto tissue paper, and then later I'm going to put it onto the surface of our project. And so and I'm going to have to use like a wet medium, like a wet adhesive to stick it down. And so I don't want it to run. So for this process, if you're going to try to do the same thing, make sure you use a solvent ink or a hybrid ink that is waterproof, okay? So you don't want to use like a dye-based ink like Distress or Catherine Pooler or something like that, because when you go to glue it to your surface, it will run and get and not be crisp anymore. So you can use VersaFine Clear, you can use StazOn, any kind of solvent ink or hybrid ink that is waterproof. Okay, so that's the only this tip I'll give you for this. Okay, so I've got my scissor in the right spot. I'm using VersaFine Clear and Fantasia. And so I just wanted a really deep, like bluish purple. This color is so fabulous, and it gives you a really great stamping coverage. So we're just gonna stamp it. So I'll show you the first few, and then I'll fast forward through it just so you don't have to watch me stamp all of them. But I'm giving it a good press and lifting, and look at, it's literally perfect. If I had missed a spot, I could, you know, re-ink it and go again, but I didn't. So we're going to, so now I took the scissors off of the base. I want to flip this back and forth as we go up the way here. And so let's see. Okay, so I'm going to do this, and then, sorry for that being close to the camera, I'm going to pick it up again. We have a little bit of ink there already. I'm just going to ink it up kind of off screen. You've seen me do it once here, so no big deal. And then I'm going to press down and make sure I got great coverage again. Looks fantastic. So I'm just going to keep going through this process. So I lift up the scissors, I put it down on my surface where I want it to stamp. And I don't really need it to be perfectly precise. I can see that that's not, you know, exactly spaced apart, and I don't care about that. So I'm going to pick it up again, and I'm going to ink it again. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go all the way up to the top of my tissue just to make sure I have enough for later on. So I'm going to speed up the rest of this, and we'll move on. Okay, I've done the stamping now. I'm going to peel up this piece of tissue. You just want to take your time and be delicate with it, but look at how cool that looks. And then we are going to cut this up and use it on our project. So moving on. Okay, I've got a couple different pieces of tissue here that I'm going to use. I'm just going to put them down. I don't even care if they are a little wrinkled or whatever. This is going to be great. So they're right here in this section. I can kind of see it. I don't know if you can see it really on the screen there, but this is where I'm working. And so I'm just going to line up my stencil with where this is so I can make sure to create on it. Now I've got a nice flat surface. I can put modeling paste down, no problem. And then again, we'll just wait till the modeling paste dries, adhere it to the base of the project. So we've got modeling paste. This is also from Amsterdam here, and it's great. I love these pots because they have a nice wide opening so you can get your tool in there and work, and it works really well. I've got my Sizzix multi-tool. I've got my palette knife here, and you can see how creamy and good. Easy to work with, not too thick, not too thin. This works really well. So I'm just going to get some on my palette knife. Excuse me. I like to put it on the back so that I can just scrape through and sort of spread it like butter. So I am going to spread it all over since I'm just working on the tissue paper. And then once it's dry, I can cut it up. I can do whatever I want and use the bits I want and not the rest. So I'm going to keep it nice and thin. And I'm sort of scraping off into the pot here so that I can not waste any extra, and making it nice and thin so that it's going to dry faster. Okay, we're still going to get great texture coverage here, but it will dry faster the thinner it is. So let me lift this off so we can see. Look at that. Ooh, it looks good. Perfect. Very crisp. No issues whatsoever. I do want a little bit more down here though. So I'm going to hold this side up so it doesn't hit that part that I already did. I'm picking up some modeling paste off screen there. Sorry about that. Making sure I'm perfectly stuck down here. Just going to put some paste down here and go right to the edge so we have a little bit more to work with. And lift that up, see how we did. Yeah, that's perfect. Okay, so I love this. So I'm gonna need to peel this off of the platform and dry the modeling paste. So give me a minute for that. Before I go though, I do wanna say if you use modeling paste on your stencil, I highly encourage it because it's very fun and very addictive, but you do need to make sure that you're cleaning your stencil with a baby wipe, or go rinse it, you know, with warm soapy water or whatever, or even just water. It doesn't have to be soapy, but just make sure you're cleaning this off right away so that you don't ruin your stencil. Okay, I'm going to use a couple of stencils, probably these two. I'm still sort of working it out, but I'm going to spray directly onto this. And I don't want to get a bunch of spray on my silicone mat here to clean up, and I don't like to waste anything. So I'm using my Van Gogh, if I show you here, Van Gogh mixed media paper, and there are 20 sheets in here, and it's 9 by 12. It's a nice big sheet here. It's got a really nice weight. You can hear that thickness kind of. It's a really, really lovely paper. It accepts all sorts of materials, but today I'm going to use it as sort of a, to pick up the excess. And then I will use this paper later and cut it up and use it for different things for other projects. So that is another video entirely, but I will definitely make it so you can understand what I mean there. But so I think what I want to do is put this kind of right in the center, and I just want to lightly spray through it and see what we get. I don't mind if it's not perfectly, you know, crisp, but I'm kind of curious what we're going to get. I've got some Lindy's ink, spray here. This one is called Shabby Turbine Teal. One of my favorites. It's almost empty. You can see how much I've loved it. So this one is a starburst spray. So that means that it's got like some mica powder and shimmer in it. So you have to give it a good shake before you use it, so that you get all the goodness. And so I'm just going to like gently swipe through here and spray it. Let's see what we get. Okay, yeah, I'm going for it. Okay, and we'll see what we get underneath. That's literally perfect. Look at that. It's very soft focus. There are a couple little clumps of extra spray here and there, but really not too bad. And I don't want these circles here, but we're going to cover that part anyway, so no big deal. Okay, but look at how pretty that is. Oh, I'm so excited. The other thing though, we've got all this spray on here, and I just said I don't like to waste. So what I would normally do is take this into my journal, or since I have this page here, what I'm going to do is flip it over and take my paper towel, open it up. And I highly recommend you do this too, because you will be amazed at the beautiful art that you create just from the waste and overflow. It's not even waste, it's just extra. It's extra goodness. Look at underneath. Ooh, I can't wait to see what it looks like. So you're just sort of giving it a press to make sure you transfer as much of that ink as possible, and look at that. That's amazing. This is a whole nother project that's just been started, and look at the crispness I have there. That is really pretty. Okay, the next thing I want to do is spray a different color of Lindy's Starburst spray. I think I'm going to use this one. We'll see how it goes. This is a piece of Mylar, but it could be paper or whatever. I'm just going to put it under here so I don't get spray onto this part of the underneath of the underpiece. And I'm going to line this up so it's kind of straight. Okay, and so I'm going to just work there. And I'm using a different teal. This is Time Travel Teal, also a Starburst spray, so you have to give it a good shake before you use it. And here we go. Whew. It's not going everywhere. Okay. Very messy. It's okay. Fun pattern, very fun pattern. I think what I want to do, since I've got so much extra here, is I'm going to flip it over and use it right on my project and just tap it down. I don't need this to be, you know, perfect, and I don't necessarily want it all to be in the same spot, but that's interesting. Okay, and then I'm going to do some splatter bits down here. That's really cool. So I'm just going here and there. I just want this to be sort of a mixed media type of thing going on. This didn't go as much as I wanted to though. So I'm going to, that's pretty cool. I mean, you just never know what you're going to get, honestly. So just be open to whatever. And I'm going to do the same thing down here. I'm going to spray. I think though I want to move this over so it gets onto that paper more and less onto the thing underneath. Okay, here we go. Give it a good shake again and line it up. There we go. That's so pretty. Okay, here we go. Lift it Yes, I like that. Okay, that's really great. I'm going to take this inside piece out because I don't need it anymore. And I am going to use some of this on here again. Let's see, we'll go up here and see if we can pick up a little bit more of this pattern. Maybe I'm going to press with a paper towel, get more. Oh, that's interesting. Not quite what I was expecting, but still lovely. And I think I'll do the same thing. I'm just gonna, actually, I'm gonna do something different on this edge here. So I'm just gonna pick up some of this color at least so we have the splatter. So we have kind of the color going all the way around and we have some different pattern. And it doesn't matter if it's not perfect, you know, perfectly crisp. If you want it to be, then make it that way, but it really is still beautiful either way. So I have a bit left here, and I want to use it, of course, on this background page because we'll definitely be using this on another project some other day. So I'm going to pick up as much as I can. Even if it doesn't make a pattern, it's really, really cool. And then I want to use a little bit more of this. So one thing you can do is hit it with a spray bottle of water just to sort of liven it up a little bit more even. And I'm going to put it on this side, and then we'll lay it flat here and then do the same thing. And we'll see if we can pick up a little bit more of that ink. Yes. Ooh, that looks so, so good. I'm really loving this extra piece we got going here. Okay, that's pretty dry. I don't know if you can see the shimmer, but oops, especially like right in these veins. Ooh, can you see that gold shimmer in there? Oh, it's really, really cool. Anyway, I really love the sprays. I love them because you get sort of a layered kind of look just from spraying, because some of it is lighter, some of it's darker. I'm kind of in love with it. So the next thing we're going to do is put down our texture pieces. So first I want to cut right up to the edge here so I can make sure that this can fit right to the edge of the art piece. You know what? I think I kind of want this to go off the page a little, so I'm going to cut off the tips of these scissors in a straight-ish line because I want it to look like it's going off. Yeah, I don't want the whole image. And I want it to be right up to the edge here as much as I can be anyway. And I think I want it to go up into the frame. I don't know, that looks kind of cool to me. So let's see if I can do that, how that will look. And yeah, that's pretty fun, huh? And I like this on this side, so I might just do this just like that. And there's a little bit of overlap, or, you know, this pattern, this texture underneath here, but not too much. And I kind of like the way it looks. So I think I'm just going to go for it. So here's what we're going to do next. Okay, I'm going to use matte medium now, and we're going to adhere the tissue paper to this background. Just going to put a few drips here on the side, and I want to be careful when I'm applying it. I'm going to use my finger. You could use a paintbrush or whatever, but you don't want to overwork it because the Lindy spray that we've used underneath is water-based, and so overworking it is going to sort of reactivate that a little bit, and we want to minimize that. All right. And that is just a decision I made because I wanted to use the Lindy spray, knowing that that could happen anyway. It's okay. It's just a fun mixed media project, right? So it's going to be all right. And I'm tapping, and then we're going to put the bottom piece down. I think we're going to need a little bit more over here. You just want to try to not use too much in this situation. If you didn't have a water-based ink or spray underneath or whatever, then it wouldn't be as big of an issue, but just trying to minimize a little bit of that. Okay, see, so we can still see the circles underneath, and they look great. Okay, so now on top, I'm just gonna be a little bit more generous. You definitely want to put this underneath and on top to really seal it in. And it also helps to make the tissue paper sort of disappear a little bit more. So it's just this lovely pattern on top of whatever is underneath, which happens to be our doily sort of pattern that we've sprayed on here. Okay, so using my finger is a really good tool to make sure you get in all the cracks. Of course, if you don't want to use your finger, use a paintbrush. That is a good way to do this as well. Just want to make sure you're being delicate, because this is a this is tissue paper, right? So we don't want it to tear, unless you want it to tear, obviously. Okay, so now that's stuck down. We do have another layer to go, but I just want to like sort of really make sure it's adhered to the surface, and also to pick up some of the excess matte medium that we have here, so we don't have a big goopy mess. And look at how pretty that is. We can still see the pattern underneath and the color, but we've got this awesome texture on top. Then we're going to move to this piece now. Okay, so we're going to start again on this side and just move it around with my finger. I am going to overlap, because remember, in some spots it does overlap with that texture. Making sure I'm getting all the way to the edge. Okay, and then if you recall, I do want it to also go up onto the edge of the frame. So I'm going to put a little dot down here and there, and we're just going to move this as well. I'm going to clean my finger so I don't get this darker color. See how it's kind of smearing a little bit? It's okay, but that would happen more if we overworked it. So I care more that it's lined up inside the frame than outside. So, but I also want it to be on the top and the bottom. So I'm just sort of choosing my spot, and then very carefully. So once it's down, it's down. And if it's a little wrinkled, like right here, that's okay. Don't try to lift it back up, because you'll be sad. It will start tearing and stuff, and it won't be as good. So just take your time, be careful, pat it down, and then we'll go over the top of it too. Make sure that I get a good corner crease in there. Okay, that looks pretty cool. All right, now we're going to go over the top of it, and starting in the middle, and just very gently moving this matte medium around. And because we used VersaFine Clear, this ink isn't running, so that's good. Remember, you could use StazOn or any kind of solvent ink, or hybrid waterproof ink for that part. Okay, and we've got good coverage there. Just have a little wrinkle and a tear there, but if I stop playing with it, it'll be okay. Okay, this is very dry now, ready to move on. I do want to spray some of this color here. This is called Rusty Lantern Lime, also from Lindy. It is a starburst spray, so it's got that mica shimmer at the bottom. So I'm just going to give it a quick shake. And I'm going to spritz a little bit on, kind of close. And then I'm going to use water to loosen it up a little bit and kind of move it around. I will use the paintbrush here. I want it to be kind of all over this section. And, okay, let's see. I'm going to spray some more because I want it to be a bit deeper color. I'm putting a lot because I want to kind of let it drip across. and I don't want it to be, I want it to be more organic looking, you know, so I don't want it all the way across, but I kind of want some drips here and there. So I'm just kind of going back and forth until I have the look that I want. And then I'm going to do a little bit more because it's so pretty. And then I think I will just open this and do a little bit of splatter on the other side. So it carries across, but not fully, you know. So it's not just in this one spot. It kind of comes out to the other parts of the, yeah, that's pretty cool. I really like the way that looks. And when that dries too, you're going to see more of that shimmer. So gorgeous. While this continues to dry, I'm going to set it aside so that I can work on some other elements. All right, so I'm going to flip this over. Actually, I don't need it right now. Let's just put that off to the side. A couple of pieces I want to bring in. I've got some matte Duralar here. It's just like a frosted matte plastic paper sort of surface. If you're familiar with graphics, Duralar, that's what this is. And I'm using the bird. And I think I'm going to stamp a couple of things because I don't exactly know how I'm going to use these elements, but I have some ideas in my head and I just want to sort of have them ready in case I want to use them. Okay, so I am going to do some stamping. So actually, let's get the platform back out. I've got my registration tool here, and I need to get it ready to use again, taking that piece off. And so I've got my sticky grid here. I am going to be working with the stamp, so I want my stamp lid, my position lid. And actually we're going to be working on a flat surface, so before I do that I need to take off my hinge adapter. So again, we just squeeze the prongs. My nails are a little longer. Squeeze the prongs and take the hinge adapter off. Here we go. All right, now we're ready to go. And excuse me, I'm going to put the piece we're going to work on, which is this matte Duralar. Oh, it's so lovely. It's one of my favorite surfaces to work on here. And so I'm gonna stamp these and then cut them out so they can just go wherever. Let's just keep it all on one side in case I want to cut out or stamp more stuff. So I've got my 3 stamps there, and this lid will just pick them up. And then I've taken this off just to show you, but when you're using it, you don't need to take this off, you know, and ink it up and do all of that. These are going to be stamped in black ink, and I've got black stays on. You could definitely use VersaFine Clair and the black ink. That would work beautifully, actually. But I've got some stays on here, so let's just use it. Show you how to use a couple different kinds of ink. Okay, there's so much detail in these stamps. They are really, really outstanding, and I can't wait to see what they look like. So now we're going to hook up this back onto the hinge, and we're just going to press. I'm going to press each one. And let's see what we get. Ooh, that's great. Ooh, look at all the details. So good. I missed part of that flower. And a little bit there. So I think, actually I need to move this over a little bit more. I'm going to just ink up the flower and that other piece. And I'll just do the bird. Why not? And then we'll press it again since we're using this lovely tool. We will get a good impression. Okay. And there we go. And that is really Really beautiful. Okay, looks great. Now I can peel this matte Durlar off and look at all of that detail. That is really beautiful. Okay, so we're gonna set this aside, and I do want to stamp one more thing. I've got a set of, kind of messed up here, but I've got a set of sentiments. This is Good Vibes number 3 from Sizzix, and I like the I like some of the phrases in here, and I just want a message on here. So I thought, why not use one of my older sets to do something interesting? So I really like, where is it? Well, there's two that kind of go with what we're doing here. One that says, let your dreams take flight, find your wings and fly. I like both of them, but we'll, maybe I'll stamp them both, and then we can decide which one works better. Okay, I've taken a little piece of the mixed media cardstock from the Royal Talents book that I have, and so I'm going to stamp both of these on here. Find your wings and flies, this one. So we'll take both of these and stamp them, and then decide which one we want to use in the end. Okay, so now we're going to pick up these two stamps, and I'm going to ink them off camera, since you've already seen me do that a few times. And I'm using the Fantasia, I didn't mean for that to happen. The Fantasia Versafine Clair. So don't slam your lid down. Hopefully it all worked out. Okay, it's looking pretty good. I think I'm just going to give it one more tap of ink though, because it could be a little bit crisper. So let's try that again. I don't know if it's supposed to be that way or what. Let's see. No, that's perfect. Okay, I'm really happy with that. It's not quite black. It's just the really dark blue, bluish purple kind of, and it's gonna work nicely with those scissors that we had. So I'm done with this again for now. I'm gonna move it out of the way. So now I need to start getting ready for construction. So I am going to cut this out first. Again, I don't know which one I'm going to use. Maybe I'll use both of them. They do work nicely together. But for now, I'm just cutting all my elements out, sort of figuring out where they're going to go on the final project, and thinking about my composition. Okay, I've cut out my pieces. I'm going to do some work on them though. I think I want a little color behind them. So I've got an Ecoline brush pen, number 205. The color is Lemon Yellow Primary. And I'm just going to color like kind of behind his body and maybe the wings a little bit. I just want him to stand out a tiny bit. Not too much, but enough. Yeah? So just a little bit of this really pale yellow behind him. And then, so then if I flip it over, you know, you can see it's just got a hint of color there, but I do need to let that dry. And then I think the same with the flowers. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do with the flowers yet. They're just so pretty, and I have an idea, but I don't know if it's exactly going to work out the way I want. So, I am going to make them pink. I don't have any pink in this whole thing, but we're doing it anyway, because I think if there isn't a little bit of pink, then it's like, it feels like it's not mine, right? So I'm just really loosely going over this, not shading, not worrying about any of that kind of stuff, just adding a little hint of color here and there. Got these little buds here. Good. And then we'll get a little bit of a light, We'll do like a medium. Oh, this color, in case you want to know, is 545 and it's called Red Violet. And this is green number 600. And we're going to do the leaves. So I still want it, I still want it to have that vintagey kind of vibe to it. So I'm not trying to use super vibrant colors, but also remember too that this is on the back side of this piece of matte Duralar, so it's going to be more muted no matter what, but it just gives it a really fun kind of hand colored look. Now for this piece, I really just want the frame. So I'm going to paint all the alphabet inside here with white acrylic paint, and this is Amsterdam white paint, and so I'm just going to put it right in the middle here, just a little bit, and I'll start with my finger because I'll be able to be a little bit more precise, I think. Maybe not, we'll see. But I really just want it to go in the middle. And looks like I'm going to need a couple coats. Let me actually get a small paintbrush and get a little bit more paint. I'll just lift it off here. And try to get a little closer to the edge. I could have tried to not ink that part, but honestly, I didn't know exactly what I was going to do until after everything was done. And, it's fun to just sort of think it through and do it in the moment. That's how I work most of the time. So I don't like all these stroke marks though, so I'm going to have to think about that. Some of it will be covered because I'm going to put a quote over the top of this, but let's see if I go over now with my finger and kind of smooth it out a little bit. That feels better. And I don't care if it's perfect either. Just trying to get this middle to be a little less distracting. Okay, that's pretty good. Pretty good. Okay, so yeah, now I think I have to let these pieces dry a little bit. But one more thing I can do while those are drying, I got this piece of lace and it's got pretty hearts on it. I don't know, it looks really pretty and I'm excited to give it a try. And I think I want to put some spray on it and give it some color. So it's a little too stark white. I have a different Lindy spray here. This is called Steel Shimmer. This is probably the best spray I've ever used of any spray ever, hands down. And there's a reason for it. It's very innovative. I've never seen any other spray do quite what this one does. And if they ever stop making it, I need to buy 30 bottles so I never run out because I'm that in love with it. I think this is my second or third bottle, to be honest. And it's so simple, but yet so effective. And you're like, yeah, it's just a gray spray, but it's not. It's really, really cool. It's called the Glitz Spritz, and it has these little bits of silver steel-ish color mica, and they settle in all the cracks, and it makes it look like metal somehow, and I don't understand. It feels like magic to me, but it's so incredible. I don't even know what to say. So I'm going to grunge this up with this, and then, oh, it's so good. And then while we have this out, I'm going to put this off to the side. I might put some aqua on that too because it feels kind of drab and whatever. But it's going to go kind of right here where this line is in the middle. First, though, can you see the shimmer from the green, from the lantern green? Can you see that settling in those cracks there? So good. Anyway, this is going to take it up another level, and I'm just going to go everywhere. No, I'm not. I'm going to go around the edges. Oh, so good. It's not going to do it as much over here, but now I feel like I need to do it everywhere. Okay. Oh, it's so good. I do go overboard sometimes because I love it so much. But on this side, it really is, I'm going to just, it grunges things up a little bit, for sure. But let me just let it do its thing, because right now it just looks gray and grungy, but when it dries, you're going to see the magic of the metal look here. Oh, it's so good. I can't even, can't wait until it dries. Okay, we're gonna put it aside because I don't wanna mess it up. It really is the best thing ever. Okay, but for this, I think I want some blue. Let's start with this lighter aqua. This is the Shabby Turbine Teal. And I just want to brighten this up a tiny bit. Yeah, okay. Okay. Yeah, because it's going on top of the green also. So I think having this turquoise would be good. And then I'm just going to do a tiny bit of Time Travel Teal. Tiny, tiny, tiny bit. Yeah, just like here and there, having a little bit of that darker thing going on. Okay, that's good. And this way it's gonna, when it dries, there'll be like a few different colors happening and it's gonna be beautiful. So we really need to let all this dry before we move on. Okay, this is dry now. And if you just look at it head on like this, you can't really see that silver metal, that steel shimmer stuff we put on. But as soon as I tip it, can you see that? The flashes of silver. Oh, let me bring it real close. And can you see how it like settles in the cracks? Oh, it's so good. Oh, it's so good. I love it so much. This is beautifully grungy. I love the way this is turning out. I'm super excited to see how it is when we are done. Okay, so I have this ribbon that I've dyed and it looks fantastic. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited to see how this is all going to turn out. I've got to get out some heavy duty stuff here. So this is 3D matte gel from Finavere from the Prima. And look at, oh, it's brand new. Yay. Okay, this, if I'm putting down anything like cloth or heavy or anything like that, I really do try to use this. It is like the superest glue of all of the mixed media glues. And it's thick. So it's really going to hold anything that is chunky or heavy or is like fiber. And, you know, sometimes ribbon and fiber things don't play nice with different glues. So it is 3D matte gel. So it dries matte, not glossy, and it is translucent. And that is what we're going to use for this, this ribbon. Or this lace, I guess it's lace more than it's ribbon. Okay, let's see. Okay, I'm just gonna put, I'm gonna start by putting, I think I'll just put it on the actual ribbon. I'm just kind of brushing it on. You really don't need a lot, especially on something like this. And so I'm just gonna tap my palette knife into the gel and then just start working it in. I'm trying to keep it on the top part. I'm trying not to touch the bottom part because I do want it to be able to move a little bit. So that's what I'm doing here. And this is a messy project, you know, it just is. But messy is good, I think. And, you know, this looks white right now, and when I put it down, it's not going to look great because it's going to be white, and you're going to see it through the ribbon, or the lace. I keep calling it ribbon. Anyway, but obviously when it dries, it will be transparent, and everything will be just fine. So, okay, I'm going this way. No, I'm not. I'm going this way. Okay, let's go. I'm gonna put it right on this edge here. So this started, I was like, oh, I need something here because I could see that line from the from where the tissue paper was, and I just didn't like the way that it looked. So, and this is kind of an heirloomy, you know, sewing type of project. So I felt like this lace edging stuff was kind of perfect. And so I'm just tapping it in, just really making sure it's stuck down. It's picking up any excess glue. I can get my paper towel even and kind of tap it in. It's going to pick up any glue that might be sticking out, which again, it will dry clear. It's no big deal, but just as a way of sort of like, you know, tidying up as I go here. And then I don't want it over that edge. So I am going to take my scissors and cut that little bit off. And that should lay perfectly. There we go. Perfect. Okay. And yeah, now I have really sticky fingers, so that's fun. So now you can see this part can still lift up. Oh, isn't that pretty? It's so distressy and lovely. Okay, I'm going to keep this out because I have a few other things to stick on, and it is just a really good adhesive to have around. So the next thing I want to do is my focal point, which is this. I think it's going to go horizontal instead of vertical. I think I like that better. I do have this roll of foam adhesive, and I'm going to cut a piece off. Just a little piece, just a little strip. Okay. And it's going to go on the back of this, behind that white area, so you won't see it when it's here. So this is going to help raise it a little bit. Okay. And then, before I stick it down on here, I do want to put my words on it. So I think I'm going to do Let Your Dreams Take Flight. And I'm going to break it up a little bit. So I'll have Let Your Dreams. And then Take Flight. I'm just picking up some of this 3D matte gel with my finger, just the tiniest bit, and I'm just running it across the back. Again, it's just a really great adhesive, so you can use it anywhere. I thought, what if I cut these up and kind of put them around my focal point? Let me see what that looks like. Oh, I kind of like that. What do you think? Oh, I think that looks really lovely. Yeah, I was thinking I could also put it behind, you know, like this, but that brings it out further and it still has that white space issue. So I don't know, I kind of like this. I think that's really pretty. Let's go with it. Then I have the bird. Yeah, the bird. I kind of wanted the bird coming like coming in off the side here. So I am going to put a little bit of this paste on here instead of on the bird, because I know it's going to end up kind of in this area. And so then we can put the bird here and let it be flying into the scene. The last thing I want to do here is, well, hold on, before I put this all down, hold on, I just had an idea, sorry. I'm going to use some of the Time Travel Teal. I really like the splatter. I want a little bit more splatter. You know, I kind of love splatter in my work, and it adds a bit of whimsy and just like nothing is too precious, you know, that kind of feeling. So I don't want anything to be too precious that you can't, you know, it's just fun art. So, and that kind of follows the line of the bird. So let's just do that. I'm going to dry it real quick and then we will add our last piece. Okay, while that's drying, I'm going to stick this down. I want it to have a little bit more dimension than just this. So I'm putting this 3D matte gel on that foam backing. So it's going to raise it up even higher. Just a little bit, but enough for emphasis, I think. Okay, so let's try that. It's going to go right here. This is so pretty. I'm really excited about this. I love it. I really love the way this has turned out. Okay, everything is dry. It's all good. This turned out really great. I love it. I hope that you enjoyed it as well. We used a few different stencils, 3 of them, and we did some layering, and we really went with a distressed kind of vintage look here. I love how the sprays layer on each other and are used with the stencils and the embossing, or excuse me, the modeling paste, and this really lovely lace there. So yeah, this turned out really great. I love it. I hope that you enjoyed it as well. I'm just going to get in here and show you some of that shimmery goodness. So there we go. One of the new Mark Montano sets. This one again is called Stitches. If you enjoyed it and you want to make your own art using this set, you can find it wherever they sell Sizzix products, or you can go to sizzix.com for more information. Please consider liking and subscribing to my channel and liking this video so that you don't miss future videos. And I hope you have a beautiful day.